Welcome, everybody. My name is Jake Majka, an assistant account executive here at PCI with our CEO, Jill Allread. We are here today to have a discussion on PCI's values and philosophies in relations to Pride Month. As we all know, June is Pride Month, and we work with a lot of diverse clients and are proud of our diversity within our agency. So, Jill, it is great to get to talk with you about this. I'm so excited for this interview. How are you doing today?
Great, Jake, and I am excited as well. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to truly show our multitude of colors in Pride Month.
Great. All right. So before we look to the future, I want to look to the past and start there. As you are someone who has molded the vision of PCI into your morals and ideals as our leader in this agency, how has PCI, in your opinion, embraced those ideals that you live in your everyday life? And how have you helped it mold PCI into your vision for what you think it can be?
Well, I think that we have the we word is most important, much more so than me. And this is our 60th anniversary at PCI. And we could not be more different than when the agency began 60 years ago, focused on media relations and publicity. But there is one thing that is carried throughout those 60 years and that I quickly and readily and willingly embraced. And that are the values that our agency is founded upon. And that is being honest with our client, delivering high quality service, and wanting to make a positive difference for our clients and for our community. And that is something that is rung true since the first day of PCI. And I think is accentuated in these last few years at PCI as we really lean in even more into the importance of inclusion and diversity and the work that we do.
So just in general, even aside from PCI, how important do you think diversity of thought, whether it be of color or of sexual orientation or anything else, is matters to running a communications agency, especially one like us working with a vast amount of clients, whether it be nonprofits in the healthcare sector and conservation? How important is it to have different perspectives when we're looking at those kinds of strategies and problem solving for our clients?
Jake, it is critical, and I cannot emphasize that enough. That would be in boldface with lots of exclamation marks behind it. And let me tell you why. If we lack a diversity of ideas, a diversity of perspectives, a diversity of opinions, we cannot be really effective communications counselors helping our clients navigate an ever-changing world, an ever-diversified world, and a world in which we want to embrace and promote inclusion. And some of our clients are really not sure how, or even some not sure why, but we help them to along that continuum of really looking at how we can use the diversity of our expertise on staff. And blessedly, we have a wonderfully diverse, extremely talented staff. And when I say diverse, I mean, as you said, not just color, not just sexual identity, not just gender identification, but age and ability and military service. We have such a beautiful mix of people who come together at PCI to really look at a 360 analysis of our clients' challenges, and we come up with incredible solutions and then to help deliver on those. That is making an impact. That is what PCI is about.
And that's a great point that I wanted to touch on as well, because it's not only what it presents for our clients, but as we're thinking about, and I'm sure that you're thinking about this all the time, 24/7, the next generation of communicators and how important it is. I mean, my generation, and just, of just how much more active people are, it seems like, and just caring about these types of issues, and willing to speak out on it. Do you think that it's important for our organization, our agency, to show these values, to show the next generation of communicators that they will be able to share their diversity in thought and be able to share their true thoughts and be themselves in their workplace and everything else, aside from dealing with clients, just as people looking to come into a workplace, looking to come in, start their career and everything else. How important is it to have these ideals within your agency when you're thinking about molding, new generations? 'Cause like you said, it's also diversity in age and experience and everything else. Like we've all, your experiences coming up through the PR world are going to be much different than mine will be over the next of my lifetime. So I'm interested to hear what you think about that.
But it is so important, Jake, the issue that you brought up about people bringing their true self, their authentic self into the workplace. At PCI, we continue to evolve because I think we can always get better. But I think we're doing a pretty good job letting folks know that we want their true selves. We want who they are to come and be a part of a team of very diverse ideas and people and backgrounds, because that's how we will do our best work, when people bring those talents and insights, and when people feel comfortable and supported and a sense of belonging and acceptance. And that is my top priority, that everyone on our PCI team knows that they are highly valued, accepted for who they are, and belong to an amazing group of people.
That's incredible.
So
So
let's
as
talk a little
Go
bit
for it.
about, you said, younger generations. While they might not think about communications being so powerful,
Yes.
it is, and communications is what's shaping, and generation after generation. And when you understand how to use communications for good, which is our primary focus, when you use the power of communications for good and you bridge gaps that are so prevalent in our society, it is communications that will build and bridge those cavernous, to connect people, to have people have a greater understanding of another person's perspective. I started out my career as a journalist, a daily newspaper reporter, because I wanted to make a difference. I felt that the newspaper had power to influence and inform, and that people who were informed were going to make better decisions. And I informed through storytelling. And those stories helped people have a greater understanding of someone who perhaps had a child who was confined to a wheelchair, and they never really thought about that curve being 4 inches tall that the wheelchair couldn't get over, until they read it in the newspaper story and saw the photos. I mean, that's um, when I worked for the Fort Wayne Journal Gazette, one of the first stories that I did was a man. It was in 1984, and it was when AIDS didn't have that label. It was a disease that affecting gay men, and I interviewed a gay man who came in and talked to me about what it was like to be ostracized, to be afraid of dying, and he did die, but not without telling his story. And I felt so privileged and somewhat intimidated to this responsibility of telling this powerful story, but did. And it was so impactful because we know that that was the beginning of a time when either we're going to cut people out or we're going to draw the circle bigger and include them in. And that was when the beginning of standing up for communicating what this disease was doing. And I am very proud of our agency being the agency of record for the AIDS Foundation of Chicago for the last 26 years. That's the kind of work that inspires us, and that we know we are doing a critical work. Communications could not be more powerful today, through whether it's TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, through videos like the one we're creating now, connecting with people and ensuring factual information so people can make good decisions. That is our responsibility, and it is what we do so well at our agency.
That's a great answer. And I know that you mentioned earlier that you wanted to say we and everything else, and that it has been a team effort along the way. But I think that your thoughts and your past, as you were speaking of, has really molded this agency and those values into, I mean, a reason like someone like me, a young professional in early in my career, was so, excited about being able to do this work in this agency. So with that being said, as we looked to the past, now I want to look to the future, and
Mm-hmm.
taking all of this and kind of summing it up into this, what is your vision for the future of PCI, whether it be support, the way we support clients, whether it be molding the next generation? What is your vision for the next 60 years, I guess,
Sure.
as you mentioned, our 60-year anniversary?
I believe every day, and it inspires me to tackle a to-do list a mile long, and that's okay because it's an opportunity for us to make a positive difference. And I believe communications is, as I mentioned earlier, so powerful. And the lack of good communications or miscommunications is the root of many of our society's problems today. And building those connections and getting people to understand one another better opens up the door for inclusion, opens up the door to be more welcoming, and um, to look for communication that people can understand the importance of equity in all places, in our communities, in our workplaces, within our society. So my hope is, and we continue to lay the in a new foundation for that as we move forward in utilizing communications and bringing in bright, committed talent like you who want to make a difference, and we create tools, we use tools that help our clients move along that journey of thinking about inclusion and diversity and equity in the decisions they make, in the business decisions they make, because it is good business to be inclusive. We're finally getting some awakening with larger companies that are very influential to make that point. But we also want to emphasize that communicating to the people who can help make a difference, who can join, who have a greater understanding, that's what our future is about. And we will continue along that path and keep bringing in people who want to make a difference, who have that passion, because people who are passionate about being communications counselors because we're naturally curious, because we have a lot of questions, because we are critical thinkers, because we're observers. We can make an enormous difference for clients, to the smallest not-for-profit to the largest corporation. Some that we have helped them create their diversity, equity, inclusion plans for thousands of their employees. Very powerful, so rewarding, and having everyone feel that they are on that bus at PCI to make that journey and make that happen. So it's a great future ahead, because I believe communications will always be critical, regardless of how we communicate and how we live.
Great. Thank you so much, Jill, for that. And thank you for taking the time today. I will say the one thing you said there about being curious, the one thing I write down every day to start my day, and I think it's something that PCI has really instilled in me. It's 5 things: be patient, be present, be gracious, be curious, be you. Those are things that I write to remind myself every day. And I think that those are the ideals that we're talking about here, and that serve the greatest purpose in communications and just in life, in being inclusive and being accepting of all kinds. I'm excited to see the future of PCI and see the different faces and all types of people that we will be able to bring to the table and get to work with and see. So in this, wishing a happy Pride Month to everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we are very proud to be talking in Pride Month. But one thing we insist on at PCI, it's not just a Pride Month; it is a Pride
Yes.
year, and
Yes.
we will continue that forward as we do celebrate. I mean, we love the mile marker of a celebration of LGBTQ uh, rights. Some which are again being threatened, as they were
Yes.
decades ago, that prompted the movement for we will not live in the dark. We will not be abused. We will not be ostracized. We will stand up and we will tell our story. Thus, that's what happened at Stonewall so many decades ago, and it made a huge difference in the lives of us who have had a better society, a more welcoming society to live in. But we are also obligated to make sure that that is passed forward and that continues, and we will continue to do that. And I will personally continue to do that, coming back to that I word, as we move forward as a team, as individuals who all belong to at PCI.
Yes, I am also a firm believer in leave it better than how you found it. And I think that that is a way that we should all be able to live our lives going forward. So I agree with everything you just said, Jill. It's been a pleasure speaking with you here. I hope that you all
Likewise, Jake. Thank you.
enjoyed listening to this. Have a great rest of your day. And yeah.